Hey everybody! It is probably 3:01. That's not
We're on
bad for us.
time
We're
this
kind
time.
of on time. As always, this is a live Facebook Q&A. If you are watching this at 3 p.m. on Monday the 24th, we're actually live. You're seeing this in real time, and you can jump in the comments, say hi, ask us questions. We'll do our best to answer them. We have a ton of questions that people gave us ahead of time. Uh, we have some vague answers, and we'll do our best to be as specific as we can. But there's a lot in the works, and there's some fun stuff coming tomorrow. So as Rob starts looking up previous questions to ask, I'll just summarize quickly what you're going to see tomorrow, and that is Yuzzum, our latest in the maquette collection, our archive collection of pieces that are scanned off of the original props in the archives at Skywalker Ranch, which we're very excited to bring you, is this fellow. So this is going to be offered two ways. We will have our signature edition with Judy Elkins, who is the sculptor, and we will have a dual signature legacy edition, which comes with a sketch from the original concept designer, Nilo Romero, and a dual signature plaque with both Rodas and Elkins. So really cool piece, really unique. Pricing is the same as the last one, which was our Phil Tippett, Jabba the Hutt early concept maquette replica. And considering the size and complexity of this guy, I'm actually pretty happy about that price, and I hope others will be too. So why don't we dive into some previous questions, or do we have some?
Yeah, Parminder says good afternoon. And Mike says good afternoon.
Hello.
Tiki Man says 3 o'clock
Tiki
means
Man,
2 o'clock for him. At least where he is.
Right. I was going to say he's either on his break at work or his boss has no idea.
Lewis says, I am so pumped for this guy.
Nice.
Guess who said this? Woo! Hey, guys.
Let me think. Alex.
Oh, no, you're wrong.
Oh.
No, you are.
Ric Flair's watching.
Ian Thompson says, hey, guys, it's a great day to celebrate a maquette with spindly legs.
Nice.
It is. But
they're obsessed.
But we have previous questions I can get to.
We have a whole bunch.
So, you know what? Let's go right to this one. When will the Yuzzum pages be live on the website?
So, we're mixing things up a little bit this time. We actually debated, because we put so much information in the blog post about Yuzzum, we actually debated if we were even going to make the product pages live ahead of time, or if they would just go live when they were available to order. What we settled on is tomorrow morning, probably late tonight if you're in the Regal Robot group, we'll make the product pages live, and at noon Eastern tomorrow, you'll be able to actually order on those pages. Going forward with future editions, we may or may not make those product pages live. You probably noticed when we were doing the legacy sketch standalone pieces that for those we do a blog entry and then the page only shows up when it's available to order. It saves a little confusion on people's parts when they're coming into the website that maybe aren't part of our groups and don't know all the ins and outs as well as you guys do. But we'll see how that goes in the future. That may be the way they all
go. Mike says, what's the question mark behind Tom?
Mike, what? Question?
that didn't take long.
Somewhere behind? I'm not seeing anything. Yeah. All right. We'll come back to that.
Moving on. Sticking with the maquettes. Mm-hmm. Joe B says, any chance we will see a Man or Ewoks this year? Asking for a friend.
Oh, man. A Man for a friend. Who, Ian Thompson, do you think he could mean? There's a really cool Ewok maquette, and it's one that we've already done a bit of looking into, I'll say. In terms of a Man, because we have Effontman already on the schedule, and he is coming this year. And in fact, he's already in pre-production. We've already got samples of him worked on, and production molds made, and like that's happening. Because of that, and that being another very large maquette and being a film maquette, I think it's unlikely you're going to see a Man this year. Man also still has a few things that we would have to work out from a production point of view, in terms of making sure that those can be done securely, safely, shipped safely, color and paint consistent, all of that kind of stuff. So likelihood of a Man this year, unlikely. Likelihood of an Ewok by the end of the year,
Possible.
I would say that,
Yeah.
that's possible, but not definite.
All right. Sticking with maquettes, how many more Legacy Edition maquette releases can we expect this year? That's from Alex D.
Ooh, legacy maquettes. Well, so I can think of two non-legacy maquettes that are in the works, which is interesting. And I do have, well, Effantman is a legacy, so that's at least one. I would say this: we have two other legacy standalone sketches that will be released this year at some point. They're actually done; they're ready to go. We're just waiting for the right time to put those into the schedule. I would guess there's probably one more somewhere, before the end of the year that comes in. That's another legacy, considering just looking at just sheer numbers of things on the schedule. So I would say one or two additional brand new legacy items, and then two legacy sketch standalone pieces that will come out before the end of the year.
We have a few people saying, hey. Brandon says hello. Cece says hello.
Cece, hello.
Michael says hello. And also Ian says, so what you're saying is a Man 2026. We're not saying.
We're not.
All right.
We do like him a lot. Don't get us wrong.
All right. This is a question, and I'm going to piggyback it with another question. John asks, any prequel maquettes to be released this year? And Mike jumps on that and says he's hoping for a ROTS anniversary release. So anything from those two?
So there may be something for the ROTS anniversary. More likely that's going to be in the decor side of things, if that's what we're doing. That's a little bit of an if right now. We do have a prequel maquette lined up.
A cool one.
And it is a cool one. So I'll leave that at that. That's in early stages, so I don't want to say too much more.
All right. Let's jump to Indy a little bit. Can you drop a hint on what the next Raiders prop will be?
All right, I'll give the same hint I gave last time. It's not what you think.
Yeah, that's a hint, though.
It's substantial. It's not small.
No, not at all.
It's not light.
Not at all.
It's really cool. Is that as far as we want to go?
I think so. I mean, it's worth the wait.
Like I have an idea of one thing to say.
There's only so many clues we can give without really giving the entire thing away. Yeah.
It's not the bottle of whiskey that Indy hits a guy with.
But how about this? They'll see it pretty soon.
They will.
It's
soon.
probably sooner than you think.
If everything holds schedule wise, which is a little bit of an if, there's pre-production stuff is happening right now. We've got to get our samples and photos and approvals, but assuming everything goes to schedule by April 22nd, you will know.
Yeah.
And you know what? I do remember there was someone who asked about whether that's a timed edition or not. Why don't we answer that next?
Yeah, let me get to that. That is here. Dylan is saying, with the indie props still going up for pre-order on the original planned date, if it is, many of us will be in Japan for Star Wars Celebration. If it's not a time release, is there any way you can possibly postpone it by a couple of days?
So, unlikely to postpone unless something changes with our pre-production schedule, which could always happen. However, we do plan on this being a timed release, and our current thought is to make it longer than the last time release. The last one I think was for 7 days. This one we're thinking 2 full weeks.
Yeah, at least 2 weeks.
We want to give people an opportunity to find this. We want to give people an opportunity to get to us and to jump in on this order, because it will be something that we're only ordering one time. We're only putting in one big batch, to be done at the same time. I think people will be very pleasantly surprised with this piece, and in particular with the kind of price to value kind of point on it, if you will. I think it's something that I'm excited about the price we're able to offer it, and I hope that other folks will be too. I think it's going to be something that, I don't know. I don't want to say too much more because I don't want to give it away. But it's going to be cool. And right now, scheduled for April 22nd for at least a 2-week buy window. If it goes any longer than that, possibly, it won't be any less than 2 weeks, I'll give you that. So should give everyone plenty of time to get back from celebration, to recover, get over the con crud, and then get in and place your orders before it's too late.
Cece says, ROTS, instead of the acronym, just blew my mind. I'm stealing that.
Excuse me.
It's kind of funny.
And I have to apologize. I keep clearing my throat. I have a little bit of a head cold, so just bear with me.
Tiki Man says, okay.
Am I the only one who's ever called it ROTS?
No, I said that too.
Also, like my favorite, ROTS.
Horrible. See, you should have stopped it at the ROTS.
With the ROTS.
Tiki Man, that's our band name.
Yes.
Stop at the ROTS.
Yes.
Tiki Man says, okay, everyone, start posting your prequel maquette guesses. And you know what? Start posting them, but we'd like to know.
Yeah. Even if they're not the right thing, it'll give us an idea of what people want.
Cece says scaled or any Sebulba, so
keep
on putting it.
Watching, Sithcast.
That's right.
DJSB.
So put your guesses in the comments.
Yeah.
Tony Duckers, any thoughts on tackling the road creature at some point in the future? We do like that one.
So there exists a great maquette of him. Pardon me. It's a film maquette. It's fairly large.
It's pretty big. Yeah.
It's not large the way like a Manaman is or anything like that, but it's on like about a 10-inch wide base, and he's big.
Yeah, he's chunky,
beefy. And then there's also the full size of him, which is really cool. And I don't know that enough people would want to do it, but that would be an amazing prop to replicate someday. So yes, is there any chance? Absolutely. Like when we're talking about any of these maquettes, yes, there's a chance. Yes, the weirdest, dumbest, not used in the movie, example of a maquette is any one of those, the one we want to make.
Right.
So,
couple questions. All right. This is a good one. On the prequel maquette, will it be a timed edition like Jar Jar was?
To be determined.
Yeah.
Possibly.
We'll figure that out.
Very possibly.
How's production of Belloc's ceremonial staff coming along?
It's coming along great. We actually have, in the studio right now, I think 35 of the shafts done and about 30 of the heads and tips that are getting ready to go to the platers. So that would, once those come back, they get distressed, they get boxed up, they get sent out to the people who paid in full. We're looking to have that first wave of these shipped probably in the next 6 to 8 weeks, let's say, which puts us right on track. We said Q2 of 2025 was when we would start shipping those, and that we're going to hit. And then we're going to go through the rest of the year doing small batches of them, probably about 10 every 3 weeks to 4 weeks after that. Maybe we wait for 20 every 8 weeks so that we can do more plating together, but we're going to play that by ear.
Mike is suggesting for the Return of the Sith, the core, the Great Hyperspace War as a mural wall relief. Going back to coming soon.
That weird, was it question mark they were saying?
I don't know what I'm talking about.
All right.
Jeff says, what's the current timeline on the Space Slug coming out?
Still in pre-production. Essentially, all of the sort of sculpting work on that is now done. All the design work is done. Design's all approved. Right now, we're just working out the best way to produce them and exactly what that time frame is going to look like. So, coming soon. All
right. I'm going to give you one more question, then you can talk more about Yuzzum.
Sure.
Anthony F. is asking, will there be anything special from May the 4th?
Yes.
Well, yes, there will be.
So after this, we're going to post up in the Regal Robot Fan and Collector Showcase Facebook group. If you're not already in there, get in there. Great contest.
I was going to say, tell them why to get in there.
So, very rare piece, our Urn of Nurhachi. I don't know if you can see it in the video there, but we have an artist proof of that long sold out edition going up as part of our 4,000 member giveaway. We've had a ton of entries so far, but you got to be in it to win it. So if you're not already in the Facebook group, go to the Regal Robot Fans and Collector Showcase group on Facebook, click the join button, and then once you join, find that contest post and enter it for your chance to win that, or a Dennis Buren signed storyboard from Temple of Doom. How crazy is that? Or an awesome from Star Wars to Indiana Jones, The Best of Lucasfilm Archives book which is like an absolute must-have book for anybody that collects Star Wars props. Or indie props, because it's a ton of indie props in there too. And probably the best physical printed reference on indie props out there. I dare say that's more of a must-have for the indie people than the Star Wars people, because the Star Wars folks might even have like the Chronicles or something. So yeah, definitely worth checking out.
I lied. I'm going to give you a couple more questions.
That's fine. I've already talked this guy up.
Yeah. All right. So we have Tony saying, will there be a legacy edition for both full-size and scaled replica slugs?
As of right now, there is no legacy plan for either of those. And some of that is down to whether it's people involved or too many times going back to the same well, or just trying to keep things interesting. Also not adding too much cost to already big pieces. But we do have something really cool lined up. I'll even say, I mean, the big one is set to be a dual signature, not just single signature. And the small one is more diorama-ish and has its own vibe as well. So they'll definitely have their own identity, but we do not have a legacy plan for either of those.
All right. Where else are we on here? Any updates on the Tauntaun skulls?
Still in production. Those are actually past pre-production and now moving into production. So we'll have a date on those soon. I would say in the next, they won't be released in the next 2 months, but we will definitely have a date in the next 2 months, and it won't be too far after that. My guess would be early summer for those.
All right. Would you consider doing the cherubs from Raiders and the Sanskrit cloth from the Temple of Doom?
I would consider both of those.
We like
there
those.
There are sometimes questions when things are, religious in nature, whether certain things get let through, and just as official licensee, there are things to navigate. But those are both pieces we like a lot, and stay tuned.
John's got a good question. Will both of the space slugs be released at the same time?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
All right.
And by the way, we both just nodded.
Yeah,
I don't know if we ever talked about that.
No, but
point, right?
totally the point.
Yeah. Okay. We like to do that. By the way, if we ever have something where there are multiple options for the same thing, I always want to release them at the same time so that people know what they're getting into and they can pick the option that makes the most sense to them. And if for some reason they miss out on the one they really wanted, they at least have the backup. Whereas if they were released in the other order, maybe you have someone who doesn't get one, tries to buy the other, can't get it, then the other one's sold out, etc. So we always do try and release them together.
This question is a good question to remind people of our 2 new furniture pieces that we came out.
Yeah.
Mike is asking, any chance of a video review of the Millennium Falcon chair?
In terms of like an influencer sort of thing, probably not. I do think you might see some videos come out once they are starting to land in people's collection, which will be in about 8 weeks or so. Those will start to ship out, the first wave. So I would stay tuned on that. If we do start to see stuff like that, we'll start putting them out there. But it's tough for us as a small company that makes 6 or 10 chairs at a time to do influencer giveaways and things like that for big furniture pieces like that. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we do start to see video when they do hit home. And in terms of our video, you can always go to our YouTube channel. And I know on the short, Sam here at the studio did a couple of fun videos.
Yeah, they're really great.
Or rather showing that chair. So if you do want to just get a better look at it in video form, go to our YouTube channel and look at the short section. By the way, go to our YouTube channel and look for the little Judy interview about Yuzzum, because that was fun. So a while back, I talked with Judy Elkins, who was the original sculptor for Yak Face when during Star Wars, both the maquette and the full size. And we spent a little bit of time talking about Yuzzum, which she was the lead sculptor on the maquette. And it's a nice little chat, and it's actually got decent views on it already, which is great. But if you go to our YouTube channel, it's the first video there right now in the feed, and you can check that out. Hear more from the lady who actually sculpted this about and a little bit more of the history of it, so that when you go to bring yours home, you have all those great stories.
Ian was asking, do we have edition sizes yet on the space slugs?
Not yet. Close, but not yet.
Tony's asking, is there a one-to-one bust likely for this year?
We have several one-to-one busts in the works. Whether something gets released this year always depends on a lot of factors, but I would love that to happen. And, you know, the stuff that we're working on right now in particular, I'm very excited about. There's two in particular. One that we just got to go ahead last week that I think would surprise everybody. I don't think anybody's going to guess that one's coming.
No.
And another one that I think people who know me would probably not be surprised at as much. Yeah. But yeah, so yes, stuff in the works. Will it be done by the end of the year? Maybe. By the way, when you get your Yuzzum, it is important. You have to fluff his hair up.
You need to fluff your Yuzzum.
He'll be a little, you know, he'll get like flattened like that. So just run your finger against the grain of the hair a little bit, or take a little, you know, fine tooth comb or something. Okay.
He's great.
The best.
He's pretty good.
He's so cute.
All right. So besides the space lug, what's the current timeline for the next Star Wars prop replica this year?
What on there qualifies as prop replica? I mean, the space lug does. The busts we consider prop replicas.
Yeah, I think so too.
And there's a couple of them there. It's going to be later in the year if there's any. You know, in terms of that. So, but there's plenty in the works. So, careful what you wish for.
Yeah, exactly. Are there any prop items from the original 1977 Star Wars film that Regal might try to reproduce? Second part of this question. And are there any plans for more Star Wars wall decor? And I'm like,
excuse me. I mean, there's plenty of stuff from that first film that we want to produce.
Too much.
And I mean, if you look, Rob, look to the board 3 down on the right. I mean, that certainly qualifies.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
So, yeah, yes, there are. What was that second question?
Who cares? Wall decor. Any more Star Wars wall decor coming? And totally,
yeah, there's definitely other wall decor coming.
We're actually super pre-production on one.
We got, we have pre-production going on. Well, I'll say it. There's another desk set in the works too, and a nice indie wall decor piece too that I'm excited about.
Me too. Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. Again, I mean, this is kind of the same type of question. David's asking, how many Star Wars replicas can we expect, and any chance for a Gamorrean Guard life-size bust?
I mean, always a chance. I don't think that's anything we're going to be doing anytime soon. Just compared to some other stuff that we already have in the works, but you never know. And I'm a huge Gamorrean fan, so we've already done the axe and the concept maquette and the other concept maquette. So, wait, what is that? That was weird.
No idea.
Yeah.
Ian's got a real good question or statement, and it's a good segue for what I had to say anyway. Props to both Gabe and Mighty Jabba for showing how to assemble Yuzzum in their review videos. But talk about their reviews.
I was just going to say, everybody, you know, not now because you're watching us.
Oh, totally.
But after this, go on YouTube and check out, it's Star Wars Replicas and Mighty Jabba's collection. That's Gabe and Evan over at Mighty Jabba. They both did reviews of the Yuzzum, and they show the full assembly, how it all goes together, how it ships, and they're both really great videos. And Evans has a lot of history of the character too. It's long. It's like what was it?
24 minutes. Yeah,
it's 24 minutes. Oh my gosh! But it's filled with like behind the scenes photos and video and stuff. And it really is his particular style to do these in-depth sort of, he calls them roll call videos. But I would definitely check that out and check out Gabe's to learn more about the edition itself and to see more of the piece itself. If you want more Yuzzum history, go to Mighty Jabba. But I suggest watching both. They're both really good, and I'm just always grateful that those guys are giving over Cajon and also sharing what we do.
Tony says, 3 down on the right. How wide is this board? It's pretty wide.
It's wide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's 8 across.
Yeah, 8 columns currently.
And that's just the top board, not the bottom board.
Yeah, we definitely have 2 boards.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
That's really funny.
This is why we look like this now. Just so much going on.
I mean, Clint, we've kind of addressed this, but he says, when's the next retroactive legacy, and do you know which piece it will be associated with?
So there are 2 of them that are ready to go. They're from 2 different artists. When, maybe May, June area, we might do one of them, but those are things we're going to kind of slot in between bigger releases. But they're both 50-piece editions, just like the previous ones. They're both really cool. One is color, one isn't. And they're both big characters, I would say.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So stay tuned.
Mike says, Gabe and Evan cost me lots of monies.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah.
Or rather, thanks, Gabe and Evan.
Yeah, and Tony Duck are coming in hot with these questions today.
Oh,
no, they're good. They're all good. No, they're great. Any issue recreating those long, thin limbs on Yuzzum? And he follows it up with, I guess this bodes well for similar maquettes in the future, a.k.a. size noodles.
So, part of what leapt, no pun intended, Yuzzum to the top was the idea of using the museum artifact stand for him as a way to keep the integrity of the sculpt and still have this secure and able to stand. Previous ideas were to, cast metal into the legs and things like that, but some of these, his legs are fairly straight, but if they're not perfectly straight, and if you have pinch points, you can't get resin around the metal, you get a lot of bad castings, and you get things that just don't work out as well. Whereas doing it this way allows us to really keep the integrity of the sculpt itself, not to alter anything, not to change anything, and I don't think it detracts from the display at all. And in fact, it really does have like that museum artifact feel to it. Does that mean that, somebody like Size Noodles who has long skinny legs that really pinch in and you couldn't get wire in, is this a solution for that? Yeah, I would say it is. Does she have some other complications?
Yeah. I was going to say, that's not her only problem.
Yes, she does. So is she coming anytime soon? No. But does this maybe get her one step closer? Yes. And is that the way we're always thinking? Absolutely.
Yes. Tony Ducker, man, coming in hot.
Wow.
Tony's bored.
Give someone else a chance, man.
These are good. You wrote those Nilo sketches are fantastic. Congrats on snaring this ILM legend. Super rare to obtain any of his artwork. An amazing legacy edition.
I felt really, really excited when he agreed. I'll hold up a few. I don't know. Or do you want to just kind of come and zoom in on a couple of these? We don't have many of them out, because we actually have gotten ahead because these are going to ship a few weeks after the orders go live. So,
well, you can see there is a big variety.
There's a nice variety. He does a lot of little action scenes, he's got a few where he's like kind of like sitting at a table or like at a bar maybe or something. And they're really fun. He's got a great style. There's a great little short video of him in our Facebook group, where you could see him actually sketching one of these, which was really fun. I was so glad he did that. And then while you're here, here's the Judy Elkins plaque for the signature edition, where it's just Judy. And then the dual signature plaque for Milo and Judy together. Definitely felt like a real coup to get him. We were super excited to have him involved. We're always excited when we have new people. Sometimes you have new stuff in the works, and the person who's signing it is let's just say, question mark. And, when you can add a new question mark to your collection, it's great.
Steven says, he's late. Hey, Tom and Rob, hope you're all doing well. So, hey, Steven.
He's now going to ask every question that was already asked.
No, Tony already did that. Yeah. Bill says, any more Yuzzum hair care techniques? He'll be my first furry maquette.
Not too much. I mean, keep the dust off him. Worst case, if he does get dusty, you can use a little light compressed air or something like that. Just be cautious you're not getting too close if you're using compressed air, because it can actually freeze stuff sometimes. But if you keep him in a glass case, he should be great. And if he does get a little dust on him, you just blow him off. He's lucky in that he doesn't have a lot of styling. It's not like a Chewie where it's, for him, it's mostly just get it standing out. By the way, I will repeat, though, that he does have the removable gun, which is a nice thing. So in the archives right now, he is unarmed. And this is actually how he looks in the behind-the-scenes movie from Star Wars to Jedi, Making of the Saga. He also looks this way on the Smithsonian magazine cover and in some other places. But in the original production Polaroids, which you can see in the Star Wars Chronicles, he does have this awesome giant blaster that's kit bashed out of model kit parts. And our friend Jason Eaton worked with us to identify those kit parts, which he did almost immediately, by the way. And we were able to work from those kit parts to help recreate this blaster digitally and give it something that was substantial enough and sturdy enough to get shipped with him. And we decided that rather than make it a permanent part of it, we thought if we made it magnetic, you could have people who maybe they want to display him this way, maybe they'd rather him with this in, maybe they want to get a miniature guitar for him or something, which I am definitely doing.
Totally
thinking the Eddie Van Halen Shark guitar for anybody who knows that one. I just think it's appropriate. But anyway, and stuff like that, I just love. I love to offer options for how you're going to display this thing. Did we talk about April 1st yet? I know people are asking about that, and we're going to run out.
Yeah, I mean, I have more questions here too.
Oh my gosh!
Just answer this real quick, just to be clear. Lewis was asking, he'll be a non-legacy as well, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we have both. We have the legacy with Milo and Judy signing, and then we have the signature with Judy signing.
And let me get to this one too, because you and I were just talking about this today.
Oh, okay.
Ian saying on Sithcast last week, Tom said the next maquette will be coming sooner than we might expect.
Yes.
So any update on exactly when?
That is a question mark. Right now, the plan is for that to be on April 15th. That's a Tuesday, tax day, bummer. But here's the good news. It is a lower than usual price point. And unfortunately, that one doesn't have a legacy edition. Wasn't something that was in the cards. However, it's a really good signature. And it's one we don't have represented. The signature edition will be $3.99. And the numbered edition will be only $2.49. So this is going to be, that's the lowest price point we've ever put on one of these archive collection maquettes. It's a great one to add to the collection. It's something that does show up in the movie. It's not, a complete rando. And again, the signature is great. The difference in that signature to numbered ratio there is actually lower than I think you would normally pay to get this signature individually, which is great. It's going to be, I'll say it's an edition size of 100 numbered and 83 signature. So, and I'll leave it at that for now. I think that's enough, and then we can kind of go from there. And yes, it is actually behind the question mark over here, but no, I'm not going to remove the question mark today.
Yeah, not yet. This is a good question because it has to do with something that we're actually working on right now. Gary says, quick wall art question. When you decide to create something as wall art instead of a limited item, do you use as much detail in the wall art as you would in a limited piece? I'm thinking of the tablet from India, which is amazing.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Not you.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you. No, so that's a good question. Generally speaking, almost the same amount. It's and especially, I think that Grailed tablet wall decor is a perfect example. Yeah. I think the only difference there than if we were doing that as a prop would be the back and the fact that it has some holes in it. And for us, that was a piece that I looked at and I said, everyone's going to want to put this on the wall. And even if they don't, it doesn't really hurt it to have those there. And there are some benefits to us, for us to put it through as decor in terms of where the pricing ends up and things like that as well. So that kind of benefits everybody. And so that one, I think, is a good example of that balance that we strike, where it is minor sacrifices maybe in terms of, I don't even know if I would call them sacrifices, tweaks, concessions, whatever. But really, really minor stuff And certainly on the front of that Grail tablet, we put every ounce of effort that we would have put into if that was a prop replica, because we didn't want to put it out otherwise. It's like we went through and we dialed in that scan really, really tightly for that, and we made sure all the damage matched up and that everything was right. So, yeah, do we put the same amount of care into all the core? Almost certainly.
Any chance we'll see props from Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny?
Never say never. Nothing on the calendar right now.
I think I am caught up.
Wow.
I know. Crazy, right?
So do we talk about April 1st?
Yeah, let's talk about that. Then we'll do a rundown about what we have coming out tomorrow, and then remind everybody about the contest in the group and all that other fun stuff.
It's a lot to remind.
It is.
So we are going to be posting our schedule up in the Regal Robot Facebook group right after this, so remember to go in there and check it. On that schedule, you will see Yuzzum coming out tomorrow, 3:25, 12 noon Eastern, Signature Edition, Legacy Edition with a sketch. What is it? 40 pieces in the Legacy.
If you want the Legacy,
you got to
be there and hit refresh a lot.
Yeah.
Because it's going to go quick.
And then 83 pieces in the Signature Edition. The next release after that will be April 1st. It's fun. It's appropriate for the day.
Yeah, but it's real.
But it's real.
You'll think it's fake, but it's real.
But it's real. We're calling it our No Fooling edition. It's a magnet.
Yeah.
And it'll be only available on our Regal Robot Facebook group. So go to the Regal Robot Fan and Collector Showcase, register there, join up that group, because you're going to want to be there for this one. It's the sort of thing we're only going to offer once. It's not going to be around after that. And you're going to want to grab it. It's not something any other licensee's ever going to do. And it's very us. It's very us.
In more ways than one.
April 15th now, the next smaller maquette with a Core 8 autograph on the Signature Edition, not to be missed. April 22nd, our next Indiana Jones piece, which is the...
It's a peach.
It's a peach.
You spelled it.
It's a trip bad day. Oh, the poor monkey. And then May the 4th, which I think, I didn't say much about this before. So that one's fun. This is something that was on our list for a long time. We did not have a way to do it the way that we wanted to get the price we needed to on it for the consumer. What I'll say is this: it's going to be our first $19.99 magnet on the website, and it's actually a series of 5 magnets coming out at once. They are very prop-ish, prop-inspired, I would call them. And I think it's the sort of thing people are going to want to buy.
I'm going to gag you in about 2 seconds. I dive over the table.
People are going to want to buy. You'll be able to, these are the sort of things you won't just put on your fridge. You can put these in a lot of different places in your collection.
Yeah, it's
cool. People will be making a lot of cool things with them. So that's May the 4th. Look forward to it. That's going to be fun.
David is asking real quick, when is RA7 coming?
I like how they just assume, they just say it, that we're going to have to do it now. Well, we weren't going to do it.
I guess we have to.
David figured out the trick.
David wants it.
He's like, so when? So you're saying there's a chance? I do love RA7.
Ian has a good point. He goes, so 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on April 15th translates to, I think, 1 a.m. April 16th in Tokyo. He's not wrong.
Okay, so technically not tax day? Well, are people going to be, when is celebration? So celebration the 18th, 19th, and 20th. Hopefully they'll be okay.
Yeah. BJ says, when is Wicked coming out? Someone hold my cat. Somebody hold the cat.
Oh, God. What is it, Alf showing up?
Here, Mike is saying, aside from gazing at the mysterious Mario question mark box and taking this to a whole nother level for love and appreciation for pre-production, that run of Rancor is spectacular. Okay. Looks like a resin mold Buck and Maquette trio stunning. So,
nice.
Thanks. Steven Uceda, how does the maquette compare height-wise and size-wise to the Rancor and F-Mon? I'm
Meaning
assuming
this
Yuzzum,
one?
yes.
Yuzzum is taller
Yeah.
than the Rancor. He is similar in height to F-Mon.
Maybe with the antenna, he's probably real close.
Yeah, he's like right. Yeah,
Yeah.
F-Mon might be like a half-inch taller.
Yeah.
I don't know offhand. Oh, no, you know what? With the base, F-Mon is definitely a little taller because he's almost this tall without the base. So F-Mon probably an inch and a half taller. But he's big. He's one of the largest ones, if you're just going for height. And, he's right there with, like, the pre-production Gamorrean. He's very close to the Tauntaun as well.
Yeah, he's taller than he looks. So he's so spindly. This is a good segue to talk about our group and our contest because we have a question. Any chance for another run of the Urn of Nurhachi?
So I will apparently go to my grave saying this. Unfortunately, no. That is a limited edition. We will not be doing another run of that. Right now, we don't have a way to do a run of that would be significantly different from the first edition, and thus that's not something we do. We like to protect the editions we've done and not do something that will water down the edition size and hurt the folks that bought them initially. That said, we did have an artist proof here at the studio. Those are used by us to when we're doing our pre-production on these things to make samples and to determine paint and things like that, and to do samples for Disney and whatnot reviews and stuff like that. So we have taken one of those samples and we have put that up in our Facebook group as part of our 4,000 member giveaway. If you go to the Regal Robot Fan and Collector Showcase Facebook group, join the group first, and then once you've joined, go find that the post about the contest. Enter it now. There's a bunch of different ways to enter. You can stock up a lot of entries by following us different places, following Prop Store different places, signing up for newsletters and YouTube and all of that stuff. Do every one of those. Give yourself the best chance and take your shot. Maybe you'll get it.
I think I am caught up.
Okay. And we covered April 1st.
Yeah.
We covered the question mark.
Yeah.
We covered this guy.
We covered the group. We covered the contest.
Group contest. We covered a lot of ground today. This is only our second video for the year.
Yeah.
I feel like we've put a lot into this.
Yeah, I think we did good. High five.
High five. If anybody has additional questions after this, go find the Regal Robot Facebook group. Post your questions in there. We'll answer whatever we can. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. As always, thank you all for answering the questions. If you're seeing this on YouTube after the fact, please hit like and subscribe, like the kids say. And everyone, check out Yuzzum tomorrow, noon Eastern, 3:25 on regalrobot.com/Star Wars. See you soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye.